The National Treasury, under the stewardship of Professor Nguguna has announced that they are forced to cancel 437 stalled projects spanning for the 10 years that Uhuru was in power, amongst also the few projects, majority of which now are going to be killed. So already the stalled projects will remain dead. The rationalization of projects mainly reflects the recognition of slow absorption of the ongoing projects. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bold Analysis, and my name is Kevin Oduor. In this episode, I want us to delve deep on how the shilling has deepened hopes of exciting the population by quick, flashy projects. When the 2022 campaign was mostly dominated by poetic talk on money, and for any hustler in this country, it was a general consensus that what Kenya Kwanza was coming to do is to make sure that you are going to have the money. That's why my friend says that since things changed from pesa mfukoni to pesa mafichoni, that the money is not there. It was an ambitious project, or it was a very ambitious poetic talk. I remember Salim Davadi going to Nyeri and telling Nyeri people that, look here, who should not talk to you about the roads because you can't eat roads. And the people were clapping there because that is it. What is it? So someone made a joke. I don't know whether this is a very serious joke or it has an element of the truth. That the 437 projects that are now stalled and are going to be killed were launched when William Ruto was a deputy president in 2018 in what the launching spree before Uhuru stopped those launching because they were only packaged as development tours, but they were purely political mobilization ceremonies. And that is what gave birth to what was later to be known as Tanga Tanga. When Uhuru went to Kajiado and said that nitatuma naibu wangu ndiye nakujanga huku kutanga tanga, then from there the name Tanga Tanga started. So at the campaign trail, the poetic talk about billions that were to be set aside for hustler fund, for everything, and this was a very, and I've always said that if there is something that President Ruto got right at the campaign trail was, do I say cheating online, or rather woodwinking the people by taking advantage by the fact that things were tough. Of course, things were tough. And as a man who was in the decision-making table, he knew very well that from the global trends after COVID-19, Kenya was going to struggle. And the truth here is, Kenya is still struggling, really, with a couple of many things since COVID-19. And President Ruto knew very well that however much President Uhuru Kenyatta would try his best to achieve his legacy was already mutilated by the disruptions that were occasioned by the COVID-19. And one thing that people have never said is that, hustler thing took momentum at COVID-19 when there was that in 2020 during the COVID-19 time pandemic. And it was because this time people were out of jobs and there was budget cuts that had affected global economies, not just Kenya. Budget cuts, people are out, salary cuts, and there was a bit of that fear. Understand that? There was a bit of that fear, what's next? So from that moment, it was also the time that BBI was going on. And President Ruto took a very critical time to say that, look here, instead of focusing on what is about the people, the government is focusing on the individuals. So this projects that was told, someone was asking, we should ask ourselves very important question is, when did we get it wrong? The only problem we've always have in our country, administration, year in, year out, is simple. Not simple, but it's perennial, black and white. We have money, we are collecting our GDP, we are borrowing, but the ratio of development and recurrent expenditure is imbalancing. A lot of which we are taking, paying people, going to people's pockets, is more than what's going into projects. And let me tell you, what has made that recurrent expenditure be high is much of what that is even supposed to go to projects is also going to people's pockets through corruption. So President might have had a very good manifesto to flash the minds of Kenyans that, okay, this was the solution to every problem. But I want to just narrow down and say three things about what is going on and why this is what Ruto must get right. If he gets it right, re-election is going to be smooth right. Oh, I'm getting it wrong. In terms of re-election, there are many factors that comes to play apart from the track record. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also like our video. These are the very last videos I'm shooting in Nairobi. Then we are going to travel up country. So to Kutani Ushago, yes. So it'd be amazing. But if you're home, just send something for those people back home. Yeah, tuma kitu. Kama wezi enda nyumbani, tuma kitu. Yeah, for those of us who are away, for those who are away outside in other countries, tuma kitu bana, tuma kitu au wenye wako nyumbani, at least send something for your mother, for your father, for your siblings, and yeah, you share with them. Lack of continuity. I don't know for how long the decision makers are going to stay in denial that administration, nothing starts from a vacuum. Government is a train inasonga. Ni driver anashuka na safari inaendelea. I don't know when we are going to make that, we are going to be in harmony with that reality. Because part of this rationing, they're saying that some of the stalled projects are going to be scrapped off and they're going to be killed totally so that they can fund priority projects. What does that mean? Priority projects is President Ruto wants to do what he promised Kenyans, which there's totally no problem. But I think the political class should also acknowledge that as you promise, as you say you want to do this, you want to buy chair, you want to buy that, you want to buy this, you must also acknowledge the fact that there is that which was started and it must continue. I want to give you a good example. In Chuka, there is the big hospital. It's one of the biggest. I think it's one of the biggest referral hospitals in Chuka that is built by Mudoni Njuki. It has taken him all the 2 terms, and it's almost coming to it. I think it's now complete. In Nyamira, it's the same. If someone would have started and said, because like in Nyamira, Nyagarama started that project, and Haijaisha, I think the one for Nyamira is still going on. Those are 2 projects that are so dear to my heart. I think one day I'll make a visit in those 2 places. So these 2 projects, kama Nyaribo and continue with what Nyagarama had started, what we will be speaking a different story. Those projects wouldn't have been there. Even in my village, not in my village, in my county of Siaya, my governor, James Orengo, is the one completing the construction of Siaya Stadium, which was started by Rasanga. Look at Bohungu. So, what I'm simply saying here is this. The decision makers should really be in harmony with a reality that there is continuity. So that even if, because what's hurting that rationing a bit, why we are killing many is because we want to scrap many so that we can start new many. Honestly, I think it's something that is amiss. Now, we have our debt traps. I know I've been analyzing about this. I've always said that our debts have never been defined well. I think even what the public is being fed, that this is what we owe the global world, the global economies, or the lenders, to me, I think it's even underestimated. It could even be more, by the way. It could even be more. And the debts have come with conditions. Just get some time and Google IMF conditions. Where our jamaa, we hata kama nilikopa hapana. What? The loans have come with very tough conditions, and some of these conditions are what is causing this. Yeah. In fact, they're saying some of these projects, zote zikimajiwa, if they're to complete, it's going to take a whooping 1 trillion. Capital, they need a capital of 1 trillion. And they don't want that. So, there is one lender who gives you and asks the way you're using it, and there is another who gives you and doesn't ask you, so long as you repay. That is the China man. Corruption, slow pace. Corruption, slow pace. I think we need to, no. Yes, we'll have to look at this. Corruption has become a mess. The billions that billion-watt cases that have been dropped have denied government opportunity to get what exactly will be it, because kwani government can't win a case. In a case, unalipa fine or so. So I'm not saying that government should force people to lose cases so that they win, but I'm like, when we tighten the belt on corruption, we are going to scare away predators, especially the billions predators. We have predators of billions, and the more we take cases to conclusion and let who steal, kama hii pesa si yako, irudishwe kwa government. We recover it, so when we recover it, we can then use it to fund our projects. We've seen billions being splashed. I have no fear of saying that Kenyans were given free money in that hustler fund. That was free money. They're not repaying it. Hiyo ndio ukweli, hata situjanganyane. Kenyans are not repaying that money. If you look at the data, interact with the data, the statistics from any source, it's worrying. That's my take, guys.